Today I'm reviewing a luxury penthouse in Hong Kong that rents for $500,000 a month. It might be the most expensive rental per square foot anywhere in the world, but they made a lot of mistakes with this one that I never want you to make for yourself. So let's check out this penthouse and see if it's worth the money.
Hong Kong is known for its ultra-luxurious hotels and residences, and today we are in one of them. We are at Penthouse 3 at Artus K11 in Hong Kong. The penthouse is a 3-bedroom penthouse that is for rent at $500,000.
Try to wrap your head around this for a moment. A 3-bedroom apartment that costs $500,000 a month to rent. Even for Hong Kong prices, this is insane.
It is composed of a large living room.
That is not a large living room. In fact, that's an incredibly small living room, and I get the feeling that as we move through this apartment, everything in here is going to be much smaller than you'd like it to be.
A private terrace with its private pool and barbecues, and a marvelous kitchen, and much more. Let's start the tour and check it out.
Okay, let's set the stage here for a second. This is one of 3 penthouse units in K11 Artus, which is a luxury mixed-use development that was finished in 2018. And the building sits in a neighborhood on the Kowloon side of Hong Kong known as Tsim Tsa Tsui, which the locals call TST. And TST is actually a really interesting area in Hong Kong. It's got a little bit of a gritty underbelly to it, but it's got tons of great nightlife, really cool restaurants, which frankly are all over Hong Kong, but it's becoming a really popular neighborhood in Hong Kong because a lot of people are getting priced out of the neighborhoods on the Hong Kong island itself. So places like Causeway Bay, Sheung Wan, Central, Wan Chai, the rents there are simply getting out of hand. And they're moving to TST because it's super close to Hong Kong Island, where a lot of them work, but it's also such a vibrant place. I was actually just there a couple months ago with a couple of friends, and we were sitting a few steps from this building because you get an incredible view of Hong Kong Island, especially at night, where it's all lit up, it looks incredible, and you're just looking across Victoria Harbour. It's a really, really special view. And so this is the view we're going to get from this penthouse, where you can see pretty much all of the skyline of Hong Kong Island, which is, in my view, one of the most spectacular skylines in the world.
So you arrive in the main space.
Hold it right there. She's skipping over the entryway here because there's no wow factor when you walk into this home. On the left, you've got this wood paneling that just blocks a significant portion of the view. And on the right side, you've got this mirror and another wall that's blocking another significant portion of the view. So ideally, what you would want when you walk into a $500,000 a month rental, you want to be bombarded by that view, right? Something spectacular that'll make people say, wow, as soon as they walk into the home. But here, instead, you don't have any of that. It's just kind of a narrow gap to get into the next part of the home, but there's nothing here that really makes you feel anything. And that's a big mistake for the developer to not give you that feeling, because people make rental decisions based on emotions, not based on logic. So this might have been the most logical flow for this apartment, but it's not making you feel anything. And I'm certain that's one of the reasons why it's still available for rent.
We're gonna start with the living room.
See what I'm talking about here? You've got to walk through this doorway, which is made extremely narrow because it's half obstructed by this sofa, just to get into the rest of the home where you can actually start enjoying these views. But to this point, while you're taking off your shoes, taking off your jacket, maybe you're talking to the host and they're greeting you, you haven't been able to see any of the view. And so it just kills any sort of wow factor when you walk in. And honestly, it just feels like any other place in Hong Kong.
Obviously, the first thing you see is this marvelous view.
No, the first thing I see is that it's incredibly small in here. I mean, look at this little TV nook here. What's going on here? You gotta walk through the TV nook to get into the main living room? What if someone's watching TV and people are coming in and out? It's gonna be incredibly annoying to have them passing by every time someone wants to enter or exit the home. And why do we have this honeycomb shape going on where everything is kind of a little circle? I mean, I understand creating zones in a space, but this apartment is not big enough to warrant having so many different zones. Instead, they need to open it up so that you get some volume, some kind of grand entrance that will make you feel like you're in a luxury penthouse.
You have this outdoor space that will go around the entire property, and the view is absolutely amazing.
She's right, the view is amazing, but don't fool yourself, this view is going to get old after a couple weeks. So if you're renting this place or buying this place just because of the view, you want to keep that in mind. And also, there are thousands, probably tens of thousands of other apartments in Hong Kong that have very similar views, both on the Kowloon side like this one looking toward Hong Kong Island, and on Hong Kong Island looking back toward Kowloon. So this is a spectacular view, But don't fall into the trap of thinking it's the only place that can offer you a similar view, because that's simply not true.
Victoria Harbour with the skyline.
Hold on, what is this massive set of stairs doing blocking the view from a third of the apartment? These should have been tucked away somewhere else so that you can enjoy the view from everywhere on this level. This is a big mistake.
You're gonna enter in your primary bedroom.
Way too small. This is so small. Even for a penthouse that's 3,500 square feet, this is way too small for the master bedroom. Plus, I do not like the finishes in here. They're using wood veneer on the walls, but come on, you're asking for $500,000 US in here. You gotta use some better materials. This feels shiny and synthetic, but you need to be using natural materials. Natural wood, natural stone. That's what they should have in here, not synthetic wood veneer. Also, where's the walk-in closet? Unless there's a walk-in closet behind the camera here that we can't see, there's nowhere to store their clothes. So I feel like there has to be a walk-in closet that we're not seeing, and hopefully it's very spacious, because for someone who's going to pay $500,000 a month for this place, they're going to have a big wardrobe. This is probably going to be a banking executive, maybe someone in the entertainment industry, some kind of celebrity. Whoever it is, you can guarantee that they're not going to show up with just a couple of suitcases. They're going to have a huge amount of clothes, and they need an impressive walk-in closet. Honestly, the closet itself should be at least the size of this bedroom, because any woman who's living here at this level will easily be able to fill up a room like this just with her clothes, bags, and shoes. And then that leaves no space for the man. But given how small this master bedroom is, I'm pretty sure that if there's a walk-in closet at all, it's going to be no bigger than half the size of this bedroom, which means it is way too small.
Ta-da! This is the bedroom with a stunning view over the bay and the harbor.
Yes, the view is stunning, but again, you can't rent this place just on the view alone. You need to offer a lot more in here, and so far, they're not doing it.
I want to show you the bathroom. This is one of my favorite spaces here in this suite.
It's not one of my favorites because it's way too narrow. From the window on the right to the shower door on the left, it looks to be only around about 1.5 meters or about 4.5 feet, which is way too small for an ensuite in the master bedroom of a penthouse of this caliber. Plus, what's going on with all the finishes in here? We've got white marble on the floor and walls, which turns into fluted marble next to the bathtub. Then we've got the same white marble on the sinks, but black marble on the countertops, and then gold trim around the counters, this weird green cabinet finish underneath the sink, and black trim on the shower doors. There's way too much going on in here, which makes me feel like they just wanted to throw materials at you and see what sticks, but in this case, none of it is.
You have marble, you have hood, double vanity, you have the shower overlooking at the view.
Again, look at how narrow it is when she turns like that. There's hardly room to even turn around in this space, let alone have two people in there at the same time. Way too small. And the view in here is actually not even that good. How did they not talk to their structural engineer to make sure that there's no column here in the middle of this window? This is horrible planning.
And the point that I love is this bathtub, with obviously a window that is facing the water.
I do like the bathtub, and I appreciate that they've given you the harbor view. But with that said, it's actually a pretty narrow view because the bathtub is set a bit back from the wall, and they've got this massive marble column here that's completely restricting any sort of panoramic view. But an even bigger problem is that this terrace wraps all the way around the apartment, as we're going to see, which means that anyone who happens to step outside and wants to walk down here to see what's going on will get a clear shot of you in the bathtub. So even though privacy is not a problem from any other building looking into your unit, privacy from the people who are staying with you actually is. If you've got family members or employees or colleagues who are staying in Hong Kong for a couple days and staying with you, so if anyone happens to step outside onto the balcony and walk around here because they get curious, then they're going to have a clear shot of you in the bathtub. So I'm pretty sure as we continue the tour and get to see the other bedrooms, we're going to realize that privacy actually is a pretty big problem in this apartment.
Not only this is exceptional, but what you are going to see right now is even more stunning. You have, as I said,
perfect example here, right? She walks out from the bedroom onto that terrace, but if you were to just go a few feet to the left, you'd be looking square into that bathroom, seeing whoever's in that bathtub. And the same goes for anyone who came over from the living room and walks over this way. they can see straight into the bedroom and straight into that bathroom. So I'm pretty sure that developers thought it was a huge perk to have a single wraparound balcony around the entire unit, but how could they not think about these privacy issues?
This patio that is going all around the property. There are 3 bedrooms, so each of the bedrooms have their own outdoor space.
There we go. Just like she said, it goes around the entire property, but each bedroom is attached to it, which means in a couple of seconds you could walk and see in all the bedrooms and probably their bathrooms as well. It makes the space so much less functional, and it also significantly narrows the pool of people who'd be interested to rent or buy this place. If you're not sure if you can have privacy in your own ensuite bathroom, then what's the point of renting a place like this?
But right now, as you can see, I'm going upstairs, and upstairs you have your own private terrace.
Okay, we figured out what this staircase from downstairs is doing. This is the one that goes up to the terrace. But again, why have it in front of the view? You could have extended the living room and had such an incredible view from here, but instead, from downstairs, you get the stairs view. This is ridiculous.
The artist, the designer, is from Hong Kong. Her name is Joyce Wang. She has been doing properties in New York like Equinox, in Hong Kong, in the world like London. And this, guys, is the terrace. Isn't it a wow?
It's not a wow. The view is a wow, but everything else is not a wow. I mean, look at the furniture here. It looks like they went to IKEA or Home Depot, just grabbed whatever they saw first and threw it up here and then forgot about it. There's no story here. There's no emotion. When you have a view like this, you don't want to just give it all away. People need to work for it a little bit. So put a couple trees up here, bring in some plants, give it some greenery and a bit of a vibe, right? Hong Kong is in a tropical location, so this should feel like a tropical jungle up here. It's your jungle oasis on top of the city, looking down at the city below. I'm not saying you should put hedges up here so you can't see anything, but I am saying we need some kind of a mood up here. How is there not any lighting? We've got one tiny floor lamp here, but this is not going to create any ambience. It's just going to create confusion when people can't see where they're going. You need to have layered lighting up here so it actually looks and feels like a high-end space. But right now, it looks like the deck of a ship with some IKEA furniture that they just threw on there and forgot about.
Let's start by this space. Here you have the double sofa that is very nice at night to hang out with friends.
It's not very nice to hang out with friends. In fact, this is the exact same kind of furniture and setup you'd get in a 3-star hotel. Of course, the view is significantly better, but there's nothing cozy or intimate about this space. It feels like the wind is just going to be whipping across here at night, and you're going to be freezing up here. I mean, why is there no fireplace? Why is there nothing that makes this space feel warm and inviting? This is one of the key selling points of this apartment, and it's the space that's supposed to provide the wow factor that will sell this place. But as crazy as it sounds, I actually don't think this corner will get that much use.
So just to locate you, you have the view on the Victoria Harbour. You see the Hong Kong Central, and then you also have over there the second half of the terrace with your barbecue spots. Just imagine during summer, any time of the year, actually being there with your friend and hosting parties.
It's good if you only have 5 friends, because there's only 6 chairs up here. I mean, there should be way more seating here and at least one more barbecue, because at this ultra luxury level, you should be able to easily host 40 or 50 people in this space. But right now they've only got 6 chairs at the table and the other seating area. So it doesn't really add up. If you're paying $500,000 a month in rent, I guarantee you're not flipping your own hamburgers. So that means that you're going to have service staff up here cooking for you when you're having those parties of 30, 40, 50 or more people. And for them, they need way more space than this. So this kitchen is actually pretty ill-equipped. They've just got one barbecue and one tiny sink and a little bit of counter space that's right next to the dining area. Instead, it would be better to have a second separate cooking area where the staff can cook and then serve the food over here. So this could be kind of the show barbecue area, but you need a second area where the staff can actually cook to provide all the food for your guests. And where's the bar up here? They don't even have a fridge or anywhere where they can serve drinks. If you've got 50 people up here for a Saturday afternoon or, a cocktail party in the evening, you need multiple service staff serving those guests. But where are they going to work from? Are they going to make drinks in the kitchen downstairs and bring them up? That makes no sense at all. This layout up here just is not well thought out.
This view in this penthouse is one of a kind. K11 Artus has 3 penthouse only, and this one is available right now for rent.
Let's talk about the landscaping in this outdoor dining area, because it's also not that good. These plants are just overgrown, they're clearly not well taken care of, and if you're trying to rent a space for $500,000, you better have every detail, including the landscaping, right on point. And then if they've got all this greenery over here, why not bring some of it to the seating area? It doesn't make any sense to me. They should have some nice, beautiful, leafy greens over there to give the space a feeling, not the feeling of sitting on a ship deck.
Once again, I think it's just a fantastic opportunity to own Hong Kong and own such a property like that by renting it.
I want to mention something else because I've been to Hong Kong at least 10 times and I stayed there for a couple months one summer. And one thing you need to know about Hong Kong is it gets incredibly hot in the summer, extremely humid, sun is beating down, and it is not a comfortable place to be in those summer months. And did you notice something about this terrace? There's no coverage from the sun. No overhang, no umbrellas, the sun is just beating straight down on you. And given that this is in Hong Kong, where the majority of your potential clients are Asian, they do not want to be out in the sun. In fact, many Asian cultures hide from the sun as much as they can in order to keep their skin fair. So you're presenting extremely wealthy Asian clients with a terrace that has a subpar seating area, no opportunity for staff to cook or make drinks, and no place to hide from the sun. This terrace may not get used at all.
Obviously, everything comes furnished, so it's just like turnkey, literally.
Is it furnished like this? Because to me, this is not furnished.
So this is the kitchen area. Also, I like that you have two sections, and this one is a bit higher.
Why make this space higher? You're just losing vertical height and bringing the ceilings down. I can already tell this light fixture over the dining table here is not very high. I mean, it seems like she might even hit her head on that if they were to move the table over. And for a taller man, you almost certainly would. So I don't understand the logic in raising up the floor when it just makes the space even more compressed. Not a good move.
You have the kitchen that also can be closed with those incredible glass doors. I want to talk about the finishes because I think this is what Joyce Wang did here in terms of finishes is particularly beautiful.
The finishes are okay. I appreciate that they're finally using natural wood in here instead of wood veneer like we saw in the master bedroom. But some of these finishes, like this frosted glass above where the wine glasses are hanging, looks pretty cheap to me and just doesn't give that ultra luxury vibe that this apartment is going for. And there's too many different colors going on just in this single frame. We've got these blue-gray curtains in the back, this beige sofa, which I don't even know why that's there. It seems like they just didn't know what to do with that space, and so they stuck a sofa there. Then the white marble countertops, the wood cabinets, the frosted glass, and black and silver kitchen appliances. There's so much going on in here that the eye just doesn't know where it can rest. It doesn't look like this kitchen was put together cohesively. It's more like they picked individual items or individual finishes and then just threw them all into one space.
Beautiful. You have marble hood. You have inspiration from the air, the earth, and the water in terms of colors. A lot of bronze. Look at this kitchen.
What I see in this kitchen is a poor use of space. And then behind the sofa, again, it's just completely wasted space. When you're building or remodeling in a city like Hong Kong, where every square inch is extremely valuable, you can't afford to make these mistakes.
I just want to say, you don't want to order anything when you have such a kitchen. You have your chef or you just enjoy cooking in this space.
Again, look at all the room between the countertop and the window here. What if you drop something down there? What if you drop and break a glass? It's going to be incredibly tough to get around this post and shimmy yourself back there to clean it up. And then why are these counters not connected? This is just waiting for accidents to happen. I think the idea of this kitchen, which is to have the view while you're cooking, was a good one. And the proportions in here aren't bad given the size of the entire unit. But the execution in here was really poorly done.
All the appliances are high-end. Everything is from Miele. All the cookware, of course, is coming with the property.
And my question is this the only place to cook in this apartment? Because if so, how are you going to serve the people upstairs? You've got a big party of people upstairs hanging out on the terrace. Is this where your staff is going to cook? This isn't going to cut it.
Let's come here to the library. That can be also a third bedroom.
Okay, so she said before that this was a 3-bedroom unit, but it seems that they're using the third bedroom as a library. And this space is just way too small for a bedroom. If you've got adult kids, or maybe grandma and grandpa are moving in because that's very common in Asian culture, this is way too small. It's also directly next to the kitchen and dining room, so there's going to be a lot of activity there. This is not the place you would want to have as your bedroom, especially in an apartment that costs $500,000 a month.
Obviously, you have your outdoor space, which is now not facing the water, but you have a more skyline city view. Actually, on the left, you can see also the water. You will see this space also allows you to go in the third bedroom.
Like I said, no privacy in the bedrooms here, so you almost can't even use these bedrooms for guests because they're not going to feel comfortable if the person in the next room can just walk out onto the balcony and look directly into their room. It doesn't work.
The bathroom here as well, so every bedroom is an ensuite bedroom.
Hold on, how is this a bedroom? There's absolutely no closet space. You've got a couple of drawers here, but where is someone supposed to put all their clothes? You couldn't even have a teenage child living in here because they have nowhere to put their stuff. This is not a bedroom.
Which means that you will have your own bathrooms. Here you have 2 vanity with the shower.
Very tight bathroom again. We couldn't even get the camera in there to see the second vanity, so you know this space is really, really small.
Bedroom. Look at all those finishes. The wood is spectacular.
Look at this waste of space. This long hallway where they could have incorporated this into the public living areas. This is just bad design.
It looks a lot like Equinox finishes in New York for my community. I know you know what I'm talking about. So this is the third bedroom.
Oh my god. So this is a kid's bedroom, which means there's only one real adult bedroom in this entire unit, and it's the tiny master suite that we already saw. So if you're paying $500,000 for this apartment, you can't even invite a friend over to come and stay, unless they're going to stay here in the kids' room. But the other one is a library, this is the kids' room, and then we've got the master bedroom, which is going to, obviously the owner is going to stay there, or the person renting it. So there's nowhere to invite people in this space. How is that possible in an apartment that rents for $500,000 a month?
You have a lot of storage. Everything is in wood. The handles reminds me of the door that she used in the kitchen.
You've got a bit of storage, but if you've got 2 people staying in here, especially if it's 2 adults, they're going to need more storage than this just for their clothes, even if they're just staying for a couple of days. The amount of space in this apartment, especially for storage, is just way too small for anyone who would actually have the means to rent it.
Double bed, so that would be a perfect room for the kids.
This is only a room for the kids, which means the maximum amount of people who can live in this apartment is 5. Husband and wife in the master bedroom, 2 kids in here, and another probably teenage kid in the library bedroom. But that means you can never host any guests. Imagine renting a place like this and never being able to host anyone who comes through Hong Kong. It's horrible. It doesn't make any sense.
You have the double vanity.
Wait a second. They've got a glass door on the toilet here, which means if you've got 2 kids living in here, or even just staying here for a couple of days, then they're going to be able to see each other when they're sitting on the toilet. Because I mean, let's be honest, they do have pocket doors here to close off the bathroom, but realistically, those doors are going to be open 99% of the time. So if one of them is sitting on the toilet and the other one is hanging out in the bedroom, then they're going to be able to see each other while they're doing their business. Who thought about this? This is horrible, horrible design. I cannot believe they would make these kind of decisions.
With the shower and the water closet over here.
And of course, the shower is going to be the exact same. Glass wall, which means that if you're kid number 1 sleeping in this bed right next to the bathroom here, and kid number 2 wants to take a shower, then you're going to be able to see them the entire time. Yes, you can close those pocket doors, but we all know that pocket doors are not nearly as effective as regular doors at blocking out sounds and smells. Plus, if you close the doors, then that means the entire bathroom is closed off, which means that the other kid can't brush their teeth, can't use the toilet, can't do anything in here. In the best case scenario, they're going to have to go out onto the balcony, in through the library bedroom, and use the other bathroom. This is awful. Okay. I've seen enough of this place. Let's talk about the major problems with this penthouse. First of all, the layout is awful. We've got 3 bedrooms, but none of them have proper privacy. The kids' room and the library bedroom connect to each other directly through the balcony, which means that neither of them have privacy. And The master bedroom and master bathroom also both connect directly to the staircase going up to the terrace, which means that anyone who's using the terrace could make a left turn and suddenly be looking directly into your bedroom and bathroom. Horrible design. Second, that rooftop terrace is completely unfinished. There's no mood in the seating area, and the outdoor kitchen and dining area is so sparsely furnished that it's basically unusable. You can't cook more than a couple hamburgers up there, and if you're having any kind of event, even with just a couple of friends, any potential buyer or renter at this price point would absolutely have service staff serving them. But there's nowhere for that staff to work, so you've got to bring your own setup up there like it's a country fair. I honestly don't know how they didn't think about this. And then the finishes all throughout the home were totally subpar, using wood veneer instead of natural wood, and so many clashing materials in the bathrooms and kitchen. Plus, the living room, which should have been the most grand area in the entire apartment, had absolutely no wow factor. It almost feels like it was an afterthought, and it was not at all the kind of inviting place where people would want to spend time. So don't get fooled by the impressive views on a unit like this, because this is nowhere near worth the money. I'd be surprised if this unit even rents for half of what they're asking, because there are so many problems with it, and they've narrowed their buyer pool so significantly because of this terrible layout. So in my view, this is going to be on the market for years. So I'm reviewing a ton of luxury properties like this penthouse, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. And I've left links to a few other really unique properties in the description, so if you're buying or remodeling your own home, you won't make the same mistakes. And if you want to see a really nice celebrity home that still has one big flaw, check out Dakota Johnson's home in Los Angeles here. She really nailed it in most parts of the home, but there's one massive oversight that's so easy to fix that drops the value and prestige of her home from here to here. I'll see you there.